Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is CLASS7 and in today's class we will start with the chapter Algebraic Expressions of Class 7 Chapter 10. So now what do we understand by this term algebraic expression? So when we look at this term, it is made up of two things. One is algebraic and second is a expression. Now when we combine these two, it simply means that it is a combination of constants and variables. Variables we already know they are varied. We can change them. They don't remain constant. So this combination of constants and variable is known as algebraic expressions. Now this combination of constants can be along with different operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So now in this chapter what we will see is that first we'll see how these expressions that are there, how they are formed, how we can combine them and how we can use them to find their values. So now let's first look at how our expressions form. So we know that very well what a variable is. Variable is something that keeps changing. So we use letters like x, y, l, m and etc. to denote these variables. So a variable can take various values. That is, it keeps changing. It can be anything from 0 to infinity. Its value is not fixed. Now on the other hand, we have the constant. So constant has a fixed value. Examples of constant would be what? 4, 100, minus 17, etc. Okay. So now when we combine these variables and constants to make algebraic expressions, that is what algebraic expressions means. So now let's look. We have already come across expressions like 4x plus 5. So now 4x plus 5, how did we get it? The expression 4x plus 5 is obtained from the variable x. So we have 4x plus 5. So this x over here is the variable and this is the constant. So some variable x, it is multiplied by 4 and then it is added to 5 or 5 is added to it. So similarly, say you have 10y minus 20. So in this also first 10 is multiplied with a variable y and then 20 is subtracted from that product. Y product, because see this is basically 10 into y, right? So this will give us some product. So that is subtracted from 20. Now say you have something like x square. So x square, we know it is what? X multiplied by x. Or we can also read this x square as what? X raised to the power of 2. So this we have learned in exponents and powers. Now if there is x 3 times, we called it as x cubed or x raised to the power of 3. Now say you have 2y square. Now in this case what we know, it is 2 multiplied by y multiplied by y. This gives us y square into 2, that will be 2y square. So that is how expressions are formed. Now let's go ahead and see some of the terms of an expression. So for this purpose, we need to understand what terms of an expression and their factors are. So we are going to learn two terms here. One is the term itself and factors. So consider the expression, say you have 4x plus 5. Okay. Now in forming this expression, first what we have formed is 4x. So 4 into x, and then we added 5 to it. Similarly, say you have 3x square plus 7y. In this case what we did, 3 into x plus you have what, 7 into y. So this gave us 3x square plus 7y. Now let's look at this example, 4x cube minus 3xy. Now in this case, this 4x cube as a whole is a term. It is one term, and so is 3xy. So this as a whole is a term. Now if you separate this out, what you will get, it will be 4 into x into x into x. So now these all are factors of 4x cube. Okay, they are factors of the term of 4x cube. So individually 4x into x are the factor. Similarly here 3 into x into y, or 3x and y are the factors. Understood? So this is the difference between terms and factors. When we talk about term as a whole, it is 4x cube. This is the term. Its factors will be what? 4x, x and x. These are its factors. Okay. Also remember that the minus sign which is there, okay, here, this is also included in the term. So see here. So this is 4x square minus 3xy. This is our expression. Then we have divided into 4x square and minus 3xy. So these are the two terms. This is one term, this is another term. Then we have further divided them into the factors, that is 4x, x and minus 3x and y. So that is the difference between the expressions and terms. Now let's say you have coefficient. So now what are coefficients? So the numerical factor is said to be the numerical coefficient, or simply the coefficient of the term. Say now I give you the term 3x square. So what they have said, the numerical factor is said to be the numerical coefficient, or simply the coefficient. Now which is the numerical part in this term? This whole is a term, right? So the numerical part in this is the 3. So 3 is basically our coefficient. Okay. So 3x square is the term, and from there the numerical factor which is there, or the numerical coefficient is 3, and that is the coefficient of the term. Now see, here there are different expressions and they have given simultaneous terms. So here 4xy is the term. Okay. Then we have 13 minus y square. 13 is what? It is the constant. So that we are not, or we can actually put it here. So we have the constants. So in this case the constant is what? 4. In this case constant is 13. Again here constant is 13. Here also we have 5 as the constant. So this is the term. This is also the term. The numerical coefficients would be 4 and 3. 4 and minus 3. We have to include the negative signs. So now let's look at this one. We have 4x minus 3y. So in this case, let's write down the terms first. So it is 4x and 3y. Okay. Now in this, what are the coefficients? Numerical coefficients. Numerical coefficients are 4 and minus 3. 4 and minus 3. Okay. So this was about terms, factors, constants and coefficients. Now let's go ahead and see what are like and unlike terms. So like is something which is similar. Like is what? Something that is similar between me and someone else. Unlike is what? Something that is different between me and someone else. Now say you have an equation here, this equation, okay. So what are the like terms in this? First we'll see the terms. We have 2xy, we have 3x minus 3x, we have 5xy. Okay, so these are the three terms. Out of this, coefficients are what? 2, minus 3 and 5. These are the coefficients. Now, okay. Now, let's go ahead, and what we are going to see is the like and unlike terms. Now, like terms is something that should be similar between two or more of them. So, here see, there is xy. This one has only x. So, is it a like term? No. This one has xy. So, these two are what? 2xy and 5xy are what? They are like terms. Why? Because their variables are same. Whereas 3x is what? Unlike term, because it doesn't have y term to it. So the terms which have same variables are known as like terms. Which don't have the same variable, they are known as unlike terms. Now let's look at monomials, binomials, trinomials and polynomials. Now an expression which has only one term is called as a monomial. Say you have just 7xy. This is your expression, okay. So this is what? It has how many terms? It has only one term. So it is only called monomial. Any expression that has two terms. So any expression that has two unlike terms. Why does it say unlike terms? See. Say I have 2xy here plus I have 3x. Okay. And here say I have 2xy plus I have 3xy. This can I add? No. So it gives us what? There are two terms. So it becomes binomial. Right? This can I add? Yeah, because why? Their variables are same. So this will give me what? 5xy. So I'm getting a monomial. So that is why they are saying you need to have two unlike terms. The variables of both the terms in a binomial should be different. In trinomial, again, there has to be three terms. Say x plus y plus 7. Or say ab plus a plus b. So these are three different terms. So they are called trinomial. Now, if any expression has one or more terms, then it is called polynomial. So thus, monomial, binomial, trinomial, all are polynomials. All come under the category of polynomials. State the reasons which of the following pairs of terms are of like terms and which are of unlike terms. So these are what? Unlike terms. Why? Variables are different. Look at this one. Are they like or unlike? Like terms. Why? Variable is just x in both the cases. Here, same. So they are like terms. So any one which has similar variables, they are like terms. Which have different variables, they are unlike terms. Now see here. What they are saying is get the algebraic expressions in the following using variables, constants and arithmetic operations. So what they are telling us here is that they have given a statement. We have to write an expression. So now first one says subtraction of z from y. So subtraction minus from subtraction of z from y. So from y you are subtracting z. Then 1/4 of a sum of numbers x and y. 1/4 of the sum. So it is what? 1/4 of the x plus y. 1/4 of is, we know, multiplication. So 1/4 into x plus y. Sum of x and y. So like this we can solve these algebraic expressions. From statements we can even write the expressions. Then we know what are terms, unlike terms, then we know what are variables, factors, all these terms we have learned in this part. So that was it for today's video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.